Welcome to Ellis Mowers and more. Today we've got a John Deere LA100 with 5-speed transaxle. Looks like it's been sitting quite a while. I'm going to see if I can get it going pretty quickly. Everything's there. There's a bunch of water in the tank I need to drain out, and it's not starting or not doing anything when you turn the key, so I'm hoping that it's just a starter solenoid associated with that. I've already checked it over. It's dirty. We're going to wash it up. Everything looks good. I got to fix these front two tires here with hopefully some ATF and some valve stems, and we should be in business. Hopefully it's not going to take too much to get going. Hopefully it's not a automatic compression release that went on this. Probably a valve adjust and all that good stuff. So we'll see what we get into in this video. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright, here it is, LA100 John Deere. Got for $100. This is the same guy that I bought a Craftsman, the 54-inch Craftsman DYS 4500, I think is what it was, for $150 that ran on the trailer. Had to do a few small things too. Ended up selling that for like $825 delivered or something like that, so I did pretty good on that. Hoping to get about $550 or $600 for this. If I get $500, I'll be happy too. Just sold a John Deere L100 for that price, the one that y'all just saw on the channel here pretty recently, and didn't even have to list it. I just had to message somebody, say I got a mower. Those are the best kind of sales. Don't have to worry about the whole is this available. Batteries from 2018, obviously it's going to have to be replaced. I'll replace one with one I've got here. And then I will drain the gas tank, because the gas tank smells like water. And then I'll blow out the fuel system, probably change the fuel filter out and stuff like that. Hopefully this gas is not in the carb. Like I said, I see a lot of water bubbles, I think, in there too. So we're just going to start fresh with the gas, so we're not having to battle with that. Deck belt looks good. Everything's turning freely on the deck. Just got to replace these or fix these front tires. I think ATF is going to take care of both of them. The right side needs a valve stem. This is like a 2009 model. Let's see if I can read the valve cover here. I cannot, but we can find the date sticker on the bottom of this. It should be left rear, right? Yeah, right there. 2007, actually. 12907, so here we go. So, yep, we'll get the gas out. Does this one need a valve stem too? Yeah, I'm going to replace both valve stems. There's a bunch of dry rot cracks on that one too. I'll pull it in the garage, get the front end lifted up, and throw some ATF in these tires, and then we'll worry about trying to get this thing running. I'll probably do the starter solenoid at the same time so that we can go ahead and take care of that. As that starter solenoid looks pretty gnarly. Looks like it's ready to be replaced, and that's probably the reason why it's not starting. So to do that, you just have to unplug your ground and your trigger for your safeties. Take a 1/2 inch, get those off. We're going to check our fuse here while we're down here. That fuse looks good. And swap this battery out. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright guys, I got a good battery, a good starter solenoid in here. And I'm going to say let's go ahead and start praying that it's not what I think it is. And I hope that it's not. But we'll find out if it is in just a second. So because I'm going to check the valves, and I hope it's the valves and not a compression release. So let me show you what it's doing. Even got one of the headlights working, which is nice. Crank it. You hear it. So that almost sounds like a compression release issue to me. I really hope that it's not, but it is. I mean, what's $30 and maybe an hour worth of time taking this thing, flipping it around and throwing one in it. So grab my oil pan and we're going to get the valve cover gasket off. And we could be getting lucky. They could just be a little loose. The oil didn't look the best, so. Oh, please be loose valves. Oh my gosh, guys, these valves are really loose. Ooh, wow. Especially that what exhaust is on the top on this. So that exhaust valve, look at that. I could fit. I'm gonna fit my toe through that or something. I mean, that's crazy. So this one is a 5/8 and a T20. Let me get my feeler gauges out. I feel like I've been doing this. I feel like starter solenoids and valve adjustments have been the name of the game today. So let's see, a 5/8 wrench, T20. And feeler gauge. So let's do this. We gotta tighten this thing way down. Look at how much I gotta go here. Get right there. It would have never started. That'd have been crazy if it had possibly could have thrown a valve. 5 thousandths. We're very close right there. One time I got it on my first try. I do want to go a little bit tighter than that. I aim for 5 thousandths on everything. That's not bad. That's a 7. Let me look at the 3. Is the 3 going to be okay? No, I need to go back out. And you just continue this process until you get it exactly like you want it. We're still a little tight. But man, that exhaust valve, that's some loose, that was a loosey-goosey right there. I think that's about where we need to be. I always check 3, 5, and 7. I could barely get the 7 in, so I might go just a tiny, like that's minuscule. It seems like it's a very fine line on this one. Like very fine. That's good. Yeah, we're good there. I'm going to do the same thing to the intake. The intake is nowhere near as bad, but it's still starter's not coming out like it needs to. Alright. Oh my goodness, never mind. The intake was actually closed a little bit. So, or the intake valve was starting to open, and the clearance didn't feel good, or the clearance felt close. Now it's not. I'm going to do the intake valve and put the valve cover back on, and we'll see if it turns over better. And if it turns over better, I'm going to pull the bowl of the carburetor off and maybe shoot a wire up there, see how bad it looks. Throw some gas in this thing and see if we can get this thing to fire up. And if we can do that, we're going to be in great shape. We might even be done today with this thing. So we've got the battery, the valves adjusted, and all that good stuff, and everything spec like it's supposed to. And I want to show y'all that this made me happy. Wasn't expecting that. I think the throttle's stuck, but whoa! That's kind of crazy. Yeah, throttle's just a little stuck. Let's get a little lubricant on it. My gosh. Let me throw gas in this thing then. That's something that I definitely was not expecting. Somebody put a wire on this thing to keep it from... Oh, to keep it running. Oh, somebody rigged this thing up. To keep it running. So, something was happening to this thing. That's weird. Let's throw gas in it. Let's see, where is my gas? I got like 4 cans in here. Alright. Can't believe it tried to run right there. This thing's probably been parked 4 years if I were to guess, with the battery from 2018. They probably used it a couple years until the valves quit on it. Or until the valves got too high and out of spec. And yeah, so that's very, very interesting. So, fresh gas in there, and let it pump in. I think let's see here. Like I said, I didn't have much gas in it, so I'm going to crank it over for a second here. Should be a relatively easy fix. Worst case, I put a carb on it. A lot of times what happens here on these is I'll have to get y'all over here so you can see it. The carb bowl, and it's not a anti-backfire issue. It's we got a little bit of something happening right there. But it may be partially an anti-backfire issue. I'll probably get rid of that when it's in here. But pull this off, clamp your fuel line out, and stick a wire up right through the middle and push through the jet. A lot of times that brings these things back to life. So that's going to be very interesting if that's all we got to do here. Let me clamp the line down, get the wrench, and we'll do that here. Next. Alright, y'all, so all I've done is take that, I think you can get a 12mm or a half or 13, one of the three, depending on the type. And I literally just took a piece of wire and I've just taken it and I felt it puncture something in there in the jet. Just kind of gotta get it in the middle. Like right in the middle, and then you just push it up, and it should allow that to evacuate or to clean up some stuff. This I don't see any water that was necessarily in the fuel that was in the bowl, so that's a good thing. I think we just got a little bit of varnish to get through, but I really do just want to see if this thing will run on its own off of choke with this carb. So let's see. Get y'all back a little bit so you can see this a little better. If we can do that, we'll test the gears and all that and fix the tires, give it a good cleaning. We might be in business. but give it a little run time. It'll be better. I think if we change the plug out, it'll be a little bit better too, because I bet that plug is fouled pretty bad. Now that we have it running though, before I do the tires, I'm going to pull it out here and just make sure it drives correctly and let the blades actually work on it. So might as well, right? Fixing tires is easy after we do this. So let me get y'all out here. I'll pull her out, hopefully. And I have checked the pulleys. Every pulley seems to be turning. I'll double check the spindles because that's the one I haven't checked really much yet. That one's spinning. And that one is too. So technically everything should work here. So let's see. That's awesome. That is fantastic. I'm going to put valve stems and ATF in these front two tires. And then I'm going to give it a good cleaning before I do anything else. So very, very nice. Very, very nice. Since I think we're pretty much done with this, besides cleaning and sharpening the blades and changing the oil, the mindless stuff, I figured I'd take a little bit of time to show you what I do whenever I bring some tires back to life, so to speak, if that makes any sense. I've already done the right side one. We're going to do the left side one here next. Hopefully it goes as easy as the right side one. But, so what I do is get the bead out. I'll lower it just a little bit here. Maybe not quite that much. So get the bead, get a screwdriver in there. And the bead, to help soften the bead up, what I do is get a little bit of oil, just a tiny bit, and I'm going to put it right where I have that bead opened up. That's more than enough. So what that's going to do is it's going to soak around the bead, and it's going to allow me to get the bead off a lot easier than if I didn't do that. So let me lift this up now, and we're going to just take a screwdriver, hopefully it's not too slick, and just twist it in the bead here. As long as your beads aren't incredibly stubborn, it should slide. I'm just kind of going along the tire here. And go back up here where the oil is a little bit more. work this a little bit. Of course, the other side went easier. But like I said, you just work it a little bit. Alright, there we go. Got it broken off here. Looks like somebody has attempted to slime these already. And it may have worked for a little while, but slime ain't got nothing on ATF, y'all. So let me lower this down. Use that to my advantage because I'm going to cut the valve stem on the back side here. Make sure your valve stem's on the top of your tire. And then we're going to cut this off. These are not my best cutters, but they'll work. This valve stem was about done anyways. The other one was done. So this is going to be nice if I can make about $400 off of this in about 2 hours of work, if that. Of course I have to add a battery and little things like that, but ain't that big of a deal. So we've got the valve stem out. Just cut it out. Make sure you hold on to the rear so it doesn't fall into the tire. You'll probably never find it if it does. So let's get the new valve stem in. Here's a valve stem tool. They're only a couple dollars. You can find them at any auto parts store. Slide this in and screw this on, and you just pull it through. And it'll latch like that, and you're good to go. Now the last one I just had to jack up and pull on the tire a little bit. Turn on my air compressor. Lift this up, latch it in, make sure the bead's clean. We'll pull it toward me here, and we should be able to lock it. Oh yeah, just like that. So we've got that fixed. We've got dry rot cracks in here. So what I'm going to do, and I should have did this before I popped the bead back on, but this is the way I usually do tires with the bead on them, so this is a great way to show you. Transmission fluid. Mowers and blowers put this on his channel. I was tubing every tire. And because I didn't want to pay for slime, he put this on his channel 5 years ago now. I've probably saved 100 tires with this thing like this. So let's jack it down a little bit, and we'll release all that air. I mean, I can feel the air coming out of these things. It's crazy. So let's get this vertical down, and we'll release all the air out. Hope these tires aren't too far gone to do this, but this is just 1/4 inch fuel line. Shove it into the, connected to a small funnel. I shove it into the valve stem. This one I've used quite a bit, so it's not going to go quite as easily. And ATF, buy the cheapest you can find. The Valvoline Dexmark at Walmart is just over $20 a gallon. This one I'm probably going to put about 8 to 12 ounces in, because we have some pretty significant dry rot cracks we've got to get rid of here. So let's try that. And then what I do while this is going on, push the tire in, and what this does is when you start pouring, you release that, and it'll suck the transmission fluid in as long as your tire isn't too badly compromised. You will have to do this it takes a couple minutes to do this. But you can see it going in pretty good, sucking it in. It's actually going better than most tires that I work on. We just continue this process until the transmission fluid's all poured in there. Like I said, I've saved many a tire this way. Hopefully these will work. Again, this is going to be just a cheap mower, so I'm trying my best not to, try my best to not cut corners, but spare expenses, because a tire that's up is a tire that's up, no matter if it's kind of tube in it or ATF. And then it's going to suck everything in there, pull it out, put your valve stem in, then we'll air it up. Front tire, yeah, valve stem's in. Front tires to 14 psi. I hear little air pockets. So what I'm going to do, lift it up here, and we're going to roll the tire. And I can hear it sloshing in here. And what it's inherently done, I already don't even hear air anymore coming out. What this does, when you drive it, it coats the inside of the tire, and all these little dry rot areas here begin to start sealing up, because transmission fluid makes rubber swell. So there's your science lesson for the day, I suppose. I'm going to put the valve stem cap back on here and give this, drive this mower up there, give it a really good cleaning after I change the oil, and we'll revisit this once I get it clean, once we get the blade sharpened on it, because I think the blades are in pretty good shape. Don't have to change the blades out on this. Yeah, I can make those work. And we should be good. So let me get all this cleaned up. General service, oil, grease, blade sharpen, level the deck. Again, leveling the deck, if you're curious about that on these, you come on this side, you've got little bars here. Oh, this is still the old style deck, never mind. So you've got this little 9/16 or 15 millimeter. You loosen and tighten on each side to get everything to work like it's supposed to. So I don't think the blade brakes are going to be perfect on this, but like I said, this is going to be like a $500 mower, so not really going to be that big of a deal, and we should be good. So you'll see this cleaned up here next. Alright guys, it's basically done. It's still got a tiny surge at higher RPMs, but we'll see. thing probably ran on choke for so long it wasn't even funny. With that choke wired up, that's kind of crazy. But the fact that it does run as good as it does is good. And the fact that I've turned this thing around in, like, I don't know, what time did I start on this? 3 o'clock, 5:25. It's maybe 5:30. So 2-ish hours, maybe 2.5, start to finish, from the time I pulled it off the trailer to now. Like I said, you know, could I put a carb on it? Sure. But it could be running the same. So it's like, do I go through that, or do I just let it roll? And the fact that I've only got a couple hours in it, probably can get $400 to $500 pretty easily out of this. As it is, probably gonna let it roll, because I got 2 people waiting on me for mowers, and this right here should be a good candidate. It runs, drives, cuts fine. I'm gonna bypass the reverse switch and might put some tape on the seat here, but like I said, we've got, you know, painted fenders and stuff already. It's already not the most aesthetically pleasing mower, but I can tell that whoever had it tried and actually tried to decently take care of it, even though it looks like it's been sat like up under a porch or something for most of its life. So it's just the way that it is. So what got it going? A new solenoid, put a battery in it, cleaned out the jet with a little wire just from the bottom there. That got it going, and then to get it driving and stuff, ATF and the tires are holding air. They've held air for a whole lot longer than they ever have since I've got it last week. And sharpened the blades. The deck was already level. There's another sign that something was halfway taken care of on this. So very nice, and gonna work out pretty well overall for this thing. So very happy with that, and should be good. So I think we're gonna call this one good, because we got the video and everything done, and the only thing I might have to do is put a carb on it. Probably just gonna try and let it roll as it is. Gotta wash some ants off of the cup holder, because there was something not very good in there. But yeah, so that's pretty good, and I think it's gonna be a good machine for whoever gets it. Probably listed at like $500 if I'm lucky, $550. This is gonna probably bring anywhere between $400 and $500 for the condition that it's in, which means I've got maybe $250 or so profit in it after you talk about $250, $300. After you talk about going to get it, putting the battery in it, putting a starter solenoid on it, and parts-wise, that's pretty much it, because all we had to do is do the valve adjustment as well. Thankfully, it's a valve adjustment, not a cam shaft, so if you ever have an issue with the mower starting like that, check your valves first. And if the valves are in spec, get ready to pull the engine. But either way, thank you all again very much for watching this small engine repair video. Another quick repair should bring another decent amount of money here, and keep them rolling. So we'll see what happens. I thank you all again very much for watching. I'll catch y'all on the next video.